We've been asked several times to have a portion of our channel be on discussions. We don't want to be identified as only a cooking show anyway, so today we thought we would try to show you how we as sisters can get on a topic and springboard from one discussion to the other. So here it goes. Let's reminisce about weddings. Planning weddings is always an adventure. And we were just talking and reminiscing that all three of us made our own wedding dresses. There's a reason for that. Our grandmother made her own dress. We assume our great-grandmother did too, but we have the dress our grandmother made. Our mother made her own dress and shared it with her sister and cousins because satin was in such short supply after World War II. So we just each individually assumed that we would make our own dresses, which we did. We'll go in birth order. I have had the adventure of making my own dress when I was still finishing up my senior year in English at BYU. So I took a dress and pattern construction class so I would be forced to have time to make my dress. And I made my dress in that class, drafted it, fitted it, and sewed it, all in this dress and pattern construction class. At the same time, I was taking my senior English class that if you did not it was a pass or fail, and if you did not pass it, you could not get a degree in English. No pressure there. So between making that wedding dress and studying for this one literature class that I had to pass, it was very stressful. And looking back, if it had been the day when there were lots of wedding gown shops, I would have wished that I had just bought the dress. But I did make my own dress, and it's satisfying to look back to say that I continued the tradition.
Well, I didn't realize you made yours in a class also, because it's the same thing. I was in college, and so I took a sewing class and I made it. Afterwards, I did get an A on it, and I thought, how would I have felt if I got a C on my wedding dress? So that was a little risky, but I did get an A. But it was quite simple. It was very, everybody's was going for simple wedding dresses. I have a little regret that it wasn't a little more detailed, but I liked it and I was happy with it. It was good.
I have to interrupt here because I remember watching her make her dress, and she used an interesting technique of shirring it with elastic behind the front of the dress, and so she hand wrapped the bobbin with this very small elastic, and it was sewed in so that you couldn't see it was elastic in the front, but it was all behind. And it was the detailing in that was the rows and rows of shirring clear to the waist, from the neck to the waist. I thought that was a beautiful touch.
I think that made it fancy enough. I don't think you needed any bling or.
When I was happy, it wasn't. Looking back, I thought maybe I wonder if I should have made a little lace somewhere or something. But it was good. I was happy.
Pretty.
So
Okay. Okay, so my dress I decided to make as well. I had taken sewing in high school and learned the basic things, but I had the privilege of making it with my future mother-in-law. And she didn't hover over me, but I made it at her house. She had a nice setup, and she was just there if I needed her. And it was a wonderful experience. And I had chosen some lace. It was a plain dress. I chose some lace that would be about this wide to go around the hem to make it a little something. And I was also happy with that. It was very simple. Then years later, my daughter wanted to borrow it, and she decided to iron, and it was the type of fabric, not the new ones that we have, it's polyester, but the very first ones that came out, you had to put a towel down first. She did not know that, and it burned a hole right here, right in the middle. And I thought, oh no, what do I do? Well, I saved. I had about this much of that really pretty lace that was this wide, and it went here just perfectly and covered that burn.
So you special made for her.
So she was able to use that
She
dress.
was able to use that. Yeah.
Oh, how remarkable.
You know, and that started a special bonding with your mother-in-law that
It
got
did.
stronger. All
It
I mean, you
did.
had a really
Yeah.
special relationship with her.
Yeah, it did. And I was kind of scared of her at first because she had this accent she was born and raised in Argentina, and she would talk so fast I missed a lot of what she said, and I was like scared that I wouldn't be able to answer her. But by being able to work with her that soon, I picked up her accent and I could get it figured out.
So that was an
experience.
advantage, and it all worked out.
Yeah.
Well, the next generation, we had a mixed situation. Bonnie's daughter altered her dress. The first summer that we had weddings, my two oldest daughters were married within 2 weeks of each other. The budget was bursting because we really hadn't planned for 2 weddings. And so they decided to share their wedding dress. And I found a way to alter a purchased dress so that the bodice was adjustable for each daughter. And we used a hoop skirt underneath it so that it would take care of the height difference. And those 2 alterations were all that were needed. But when our third daughter was married, things had stabilized and we were able to buy her dress. But skipping to my granddaughter's generation, she decided that she wanted to wear her mother's dress, but the sleeves were not to her liking. So she'll be married in a week, and I was able to use the dress and pattern construction that I learned in my class for my dress to put sleeves in that are very similar to the dress I wore on my wedding day. My granddaughter is loving wearing the dress her mother wore. And so 3 generations are wrapped up in that dress too.
Great. Wow.
So the idea is just do what you need to or want to do. There is nothing wrong with purchasing a dress. It's a relief to know. Now tell about your daughter's dress, because she did not like the dresses that were the fashion at the time.
So she had a friend, she knew I made mine, and she had a friend who grandmother or somebody made hers and it got ruined just before the wedding. So she said, I do not want you to make my dress. She was very firm. And we lived in different states. So she came for a visit, and then I was gonna we were gonna look near where she lived. So I had her just for a couple of days, and I said, feel very happy that I'm not having to make it. It wasn't like I wanted to spend that time. So I said, let's go, because we'll have limited time looking. Let's go and look at patterns and just see what kind of sleeve are you looking for, what kind of neckline, what are some of the things, so we can narrow down our search when we get looking for dresses. So we just went, and I said, okay, how about this sleeve? How about this dress? And she said, oh, I like this. Anyway, so then when I went to visit her, we went looking for dresses, and she did not want any satin. She had certain things she knew she didn't want. She went through, and we probably spent a couple of days looking, and finally she said, Mom, will you make that pattern I liked? So I did end up making hers, and we had no big emergencies. It turned out fine. But I thought that was funny because I was kind of relieved I didn't have to make it. She thought I'd be disappointed, but
Whatever the source, as long as the bride feels beautiful, that's the important thing.
That's good. I have another thing to add
Okay?
about mine. I've wondered what to do about a veil, because I'd never made one, so I didn't think I wanted to do that. Well, Chuck's sister Ida, we went shopping for the veil together, and it was this beautiful little headpiece, and then she was going to put the
The tool.
the tool on, and we decided to split the cost, and then she would use it.
Oh.
And so she used it, and then her daughter used it.
Oh,
And
that's
then I
nice.
don't know what happened to it, otherwise my daughters would have
Yeah.
too.
That kind of makes it more special.
Yeah.
you know, that
It was
it's-
really
yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
it's awesome. I did use, I had a roommate who got married not long before, and I really liked hers. And she said, "Do you want to use it?" I didn't split it with her. It would have been nice for me to offer. It never even occurred to me to split it with her.
Is that the one you have?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
borrowed hers. Yeah, borrowed a friend's.
I made mine too, out of a headband that I wrapped with matching up to the dress, and I added a few of the seed pearls I'd put on my dress.
It was
And
beautiful.
then just a very fine tulle was all that was needed.
Yeah. And both of yours were beautiful. I always admired them. I was the little
So
sister
that's
looking
how
at
we
you.
got through. And during all of this time, our mother had died many years before. So we were going through a stressful time being without our mother. We would love to have had her there.
But I think it was very special because we came together and we helped each
Yes,
other.
we helped
Yeah.
each other with that,
Yeah.
yes. So whatever you need to do, just do it as long as the bride feels beautiful on her day.